sir.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court. We got some special guests with us today. We got students from Somerset Student Government. Is that correct? Somerset Student Council. Okay, and they're here just to see our fine government officials in action. So we got to come up with some exciting stuff for them today if we got anything. But anyway, we'll welcome you. And I've got another special guest here today. My pastor, former pastor of Oak Hill Baptist Church, the one who baptized me, is here with a couple of his students from Somerset Christian School. And I've asked my pastor if he'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if we'd all stand. Pastor Brown.
I had the opportunity to baptize him. I should have held him under longer.
Dan Price was just saying.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think we both got baptized that day. I think he went down with me. I'm not sure. All right, let's go ahead and we'll call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. You've all received a copy of those. If you have any recommendations or if you'd like to accept those. Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so let's we'll go ahead and let the students here from Somerset Christian go ahead. Pastor, if you'd like to bring your representatives up here, come to the microphone. We'd like you to introduce yourselves. And
I'm Jared Eads, and I'm Jace Girdler from Somerset Christian. And we want to say thank you for what you all do, and we have a gift here for you all, a 7-pound honey baked ham.
well, put that.
There's a reason behind this. We do appreciate what you all do, and a lot of times you're told what you don't do, so we just wanted you to know it. And Steve has nothing to do with the hams. I'm sure he's never had one of those before. And I want these young men to know that they can take your job someday. And they have to know, they have to believe that, and we want to cultivate that attitude in their lives, and to be winners and to make a difference in that. And thank you, Judge, for the opportunity to let them share. We do appreciate you all very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Very, very kind gesture. All right. Next item on the agenda then will be we have representatives from Pulaski County Farm Bureau. We're going to talk about Kentucky Mesonet. Pierce, Mr. Hargis, if y'all like to
Appreciate the
give
opportunity.
us some education here.
Not for me much, but we appreciate the opportunity to address the court this morning. Chris Pierce is with me, and we've been talking. I've talked to several of the magistrates here. I didn't get hold of all of you, but I got a hold of the biggest part I could get a hold. But it's Mesonet weather stations, and what this is for those that's a little bit maybe not filled in, because I wasn't really that much till we got to talking about it. If you look on your little pamphlet there, he talks about there's 2 counties in the state that's got Mesonet weather stations, and Pulaski County is one that does not, and we're currently in the kind of that dead zone there. So what we got is where the extension office is going to be eventually built out there on 914 bypass. They've set aside land out there to do this, and basically it's a $25,000 project. We've got grants of $10,000 from basically Mesonet to put this in, and then by using the ag development funds, we can get $7,500 there. So that leaves us, we got to have matching funds of $7,500. Pulaski County Farm Bureau, which I'm president of, and we're all on the board. We've basically agreed to put 25 of that up. We went to city government last night, the city council meeting, and talked to them. They agreed to put 2,500 up, and if we can get 2,500 from fiscal court, that gives us 7,500, which would be a matching grant to the ag development funds that we feel we can get on that, which that gives a total of 25,000. Also, the extension board has basically, we're gonna agree to, take care of the maintenance of it, which it can be from 1,000, kept at 3,000, I think, if Chris is right on that. And, basically that, takes that out of our hands. So, we've got a chance to get something here. It's kind of a win-win for everybody. It's the reason we went to the city council too, because, it don't matter if you're mowing your yard or whatever. This is real-time information that basically it's right up to date. And then another thing about it, if there's grants that happens to happen, if we have disaster, it tells exactly what happened on what day and everything like that. So, and Chris can tell you a little bit more about it, but,
Kentucky Mesonet feeds real-time data from around the state into the Kentucky Weather Center at Western Kentucky University. It also reports to the National Weather Service. One of the things that was put to us in the educational process about this was this is something that can be important to emergency services. It can help with weather forecasting in our area. The nearest ones we have are near Garrett County, and Liberty and Whitley City are the nearest ones. And Pulaski County is actually one of the largest dead zones in the state of Kentucky. So for the benefit that this would bring to our community, I think it's a small investment, especially when we've got funding to fund up to $17,500 of the $25,000 project. So.
One of the other things, if you open your little brochure up, that we handed out, kind of tells you a little bit more about it. One of the things, and I was noticing the kids been here this morning, you see the education part of it. This is all public information. So like if they want to use that in a curriculum in school, K through 12 would have the availability to pick this up. So it just gives a lot more up to date. And, because what happens in Casey County, or I think it's actually Northern Garrett where it's at. So, it's just like this morning, as one boy come in and said, didn't get no rain at all, and he's in Northern Pulaski County. We got rain last night. And so I'd say you got rain out there. So, this is just more up to date. And it's kind of a win-win for everybody. And it ain't like it's a lot of money. It's, it's $2,500 what we were asking for as matching. And we don't have to have the money this morning. Basically, we've got to have a motion from the, court that they would be willing to do this. So that's what we're asking for this morning.
Is this something we get on the telephone?
I know you can access it on the web. I don't know if they have an app to access it through an app, but I know it's web-based. You can go on the Mesonet website right now. You can click on any of the weather stations that surround Lake Cumberland area and find out what's going on. So it's also something, there's all the state universities are partners in this, and if there's things that y'all need for emergency services or anything else with businesses in the area to collect historical data, you can do this out of that data pool and access it. So,
a lot of times when they have, some disaster money, it's all based on what happened to this area, and so this is more real time, because a lot of times, county might not qualify for something other that you should because we really don't have just exact data to it. So it's kind of a win for everybody. It's, and like I said, it's an opportunity to get it. We feel, 95% sure it's going to happen because we're in the top 5.
we were one of 5 counties selected to receive that $10,000. So anyhow, timeline on this, they said should be within 12 months. What we would need from you all, we're going to be making an application to the local ag development board on Monday. And we would need a letter of intent that y'all would support this project whenever the time comes to build it.
So Chris, if I went on the internet right now to Mesonet, could I find out what's going on in these other counties?
You could, yeah, live data.
And then also, so anybody that's not plug into that and kind of give them more accurate too. So, it's kind of just an
It's going to
information
record
source.
wind speed, barometric pressure, rainfall, soil temperature, soil moisture at 5 different depths. So it's something that if you were even a contractor and you wanted to check and see if we need to be digging today or is it too wet, you could probably get on there and check the soil moisture levels at different depths and find out. So it might even be good for you guys if you're out digging. So.
And the other thing too on that, with that soil, this is kind of the top end that you could actually put a little bit cheaper deal in, but this is the better
Yeah, this
one.
is a better system.
So if there's a tornado coming our way, we could find out this way?
Well, this will be used to collect real-time data, but it will feed back into the forecasting systems with the Kentucky Weather Center and the National Weather Service. And that's something that we may have we may have one at the airport, a weather center of some type, but this one's probably gonna provide more detailed data. And it give us a second data point for the county. There's several counties that have 2 of these in their county.
Judge, I make a motion, we do this 2,500.
Have a motion, Mr. Wilden.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Just whenever you need that, you'll have to, if you would, submit an invoice for us.
Yeah, we just need a letter of intent to do it, so that gives us a chance to write the grant.
Depend on whether they get the grant or not.
Yeah, that's just,
If
do
the
the
grant don't
match.
come through, we won't need the money, so, you know, but thank you, guys.
thank you.
Need to make sure that.
We need to amend that motion, or just,
No, I mean, if they don't get the grant, then you don't,
okay.
right now, you're into letters. You'll be good.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, we'll be dealing with old business, and we've got, looks like we've got a couple grants, a couple bids to open. We've got
The first one I have here, I guess, is on the electronic cigarettes.
This is for the jail,
Yep, for the
correct?
jail. Only one bid, David?
That's all we received, yes.
Bid had to be received by 4:30 yesterday. This is date stamped May 2nd, 2017. It's being received. So it was received in a timely manner. David, you'll have to look at it, or somebody, to see if it meets your bid
How much,
specifications.
what's the amount on it?
Well, if I could find that, I'd tell you.
Okay, sorry.
$275 each, I guess, for, our product cost per individual unit is $275 each. I don't know what the specs were as far as how many they were looking for, but if y'all wanted to accept it, pending review by to review, see if it meets the specs.
What's the company name?
Crossbar.
Is this something you're gonna sell over there, David, or give out, or?
We've been selling, and during the audit, they said that it just need to be bid. They've been selling for years. It's just, it need to be approved by fiscal court
Okay.
for the, due to the amount being purchased.
Says they sell them in 100 unit boxes of 100 units. Company's out of London.
Do we just need to accept it for review? Is that what we need to do?
Motion to accept it for review.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now, David, is this something you need to do today? Do we need to meet right now? And
Well, I'll
Or-
have the major come over and
okay,
major with him. He can, if somebody wants to go in there with him, they can talk it over or something.
okay. I just didn't know if we needed to.
This is the first time we've had to do this, so
I just didn't know if you needed it done today, or you want to look at it and come back to us for.
I can do that.
Okay. All right, then the next item is the aerial fire apparatus bid.
I've never seen this before. Where'd this come from? Bids on
Those are
CDs.
the specs on the CDs. I just put them in there so I could file them.
Oh, is this the bid?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was the bid on CDs.
It's in the box.
All right, got you. Let's see. Bids were due 9:30 today. This is date stamped, at 4 PM, or at, May 4th at 1:18 PM. This is from Ferrara Fire Apparatus Incorporated. Seven. Looks like $739,972 each. 739,792.00 each.
What is this thing?
It is a,
That'd be, you wanna tell us a little bit about this?
It's the, It's the apparatus that was bid for the Parker's Mill that we talked about whenever we was doing our end of the year's, what we had in our budget request for the truck was the aerial unit. That's where Parker's Mill had surplus 2 trucks prior, if you remember back. That was part of getting rid of those and buying this other truck.
it says it's a demo Cinder MVP HD 77 aerial apparatus with a 77-foot aerial ladder. Cummins 450 horsepower engine, 2,000 gallon per month hail pump, 500 gallon water tank,
That makes it clear.
2,100 foam system, and
That's what
30 gallon foam tank.
Oh, we're looking at a fire truck.
Make it simple for me too, Jim, I thought we was flying around.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Motion to accept for review.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
That today, Stacy?
Any opposed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Who seconded that? I'm gonna leave.
I did.
Wilson.
Yeah, 'cause it'll take a while to go through that and review the specs and make sure everything's, we'll come back.
Do this next meeting, then we'll.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, you want these, or you want Leslie to have them?
Why don't you just tell us it's fire truck?
Yeah.
I'll make copies for everybody.
I'll give you the one from jail too.
Yeah, I'll keep them and make copies.
Fly in.
All right.
The aerial.
Next item on the agenda then will be new business. Have a few items discussed here. I'm gonna, let's see, we got surplus inventory. Looks like the sheriff's department has turned in some items for the surplus inventory. You've got a couple lists there. Guess we'd need a motion to accept that for surplus.
Motion to surplus.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, then the next item in our new business is we've got the addition and removal of some roads. Looks like we've got 2 additions and 2 removals. Is that correct? 3. I'm sorry, we got. 4 additions and 2 removals. We'll deal with our additions first. Now, we had road hearings on each of these. My deputy judge, Dan Price, led these hearings, but we've got, first one is Chipola Road Extension. It looks like it's 1,098 feet by 40 feet. And Dan, would you like to talk about what you, road hearings?
Yeah, thank you, Judge. They're actually, Jason, the name of that subdivision, I can't recall it offhand.
Polish Shores.
Chipola Shore, they're developing a subdivision, and And the agreement was we would take and they're conforming roads. We'll take them in as residents were building houses out there. And so there's three new homes going up. And Chipola actually ended right there at Dr. Huffman's property at the gate. And so in order to get to the subdivision, we need to extend it into the subdivision and where it intersects with West Golden Island. So that those people, once their houses are built, that they can get services.
When you say that you're taking them in as is, and this Mr. Price doesn't want the road widened, as you know,
That'd be 30 foot.
law now requires a 30-foot right-of-way. Is it 30 feet wide?
It's actually, Mr. Dalton lives, the Chipola that's existing, we've already got that in our system. It's, you know,
I think there was some miscommunication.
No, it's,
This was
Okay, this is Dalton's.
on the existing road, Martin. There were some people that thought that we was
But is it 30,
taking part.
30 feet wide right now?
40 feet.
it's 40 feet.
Okay.
the part
all right.
that's being taken in.
Well,
Yeah.
when he said as is, that concerned me that it was, didn't meet the legal requirement.
Yes, sorry about that.
the right-of-way is 40 feet, correct?
The right-of-way is 40 feet. Chipola is already in our system at so many feet.
Yeah.
But it continues actually the same width through to the subdivision and into the subdivision. And so we weren't aware that Chipola ended right there, so we had to extend it as is, which is a 40-foot conforming that meets the specs and everything.
Gotcha.
And then the Chipola Road ends and intersects with West Golden Island, which goes back to a cul-de-sac. And here it is, it's 40 feet right away, conforming to a cul-de-sac. And then Morning Mist Way, so.
Cove
I
Creek.
thought there was another one, Leslie. That's where, there'll actually be one more that's not here, but when they start construction, but that's going into the subdivision as before, those two.
And they are conforming their blacktop
Yes, sir.
road.
Yes, sir, they're blacktop, with a 40 foot right away.
So we need to do these individually, I assume.
You don't have to, but if there's an objection to it.
They're in the same, okay, they're in the same neighborhood, so let's.
Motion to take them in.
We got Chipola Road and West Golden Island. We got a motion to accept those into the county road system.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Did we have a committee go look at them? Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Morning Mist Way, Mrs. Mullins is requesting that it be taken out of her maintenance. She owns all the property around it, and people have been going back into the cul-de-sac, and she's been constantly having to run them off, but she really can't do that since it's a public road, so she's requesting, and she owns every bit of the property around it. She's requesting that the 236 be taken out of our maintenance plan.
Where's this at? I mean, just, anybody know anything about it or anything?
Morning Mist, it's in the first district. You know what it's in?
That's down off of Chipola Road, or
Yeah.
Shafter Chipola.
Shafter Chipola. I forget the name of the subdivision, but no one was in opposition to it, and like I said.
Morning Woods subdivision.
No one was in opposition to it, and she owns every bit of the property.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of removing Morning Mist from county road system?
No.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And then the second one, removal, Sunrise Drive, which is in the 3rd district, it's approximately 147 feet. No one was present. Jimmy, so.
I know what thing about it. I'll make a motion, we remove it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
And then in the 4th district, Mr. Maxey, they're developing or building houses in that little subdivision off of Blaze Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're requesting for us to take those roads in. One of them is Cove Creek Drive, 1,693 feet, and it's about 30 feet wide. And then the second one was Meadow Creek Drive. It's 480 feet.
Like conforming roads.
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and second to accept these into the county road system. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, then let's see, I've got a first reading of our fiscal year 17-18 budget. You all have got a copy of that. I don't know if that requires a vote today, but
It does.
does it require
Yes.
a vote on first? All right.
Motion to approve the first reading?
Second.
A motion, and a second to approve the first reading. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And we've got looks like we've got under new business fuel tank reader. This would, it is, Dan, is that the,
That's Johnny, I think, Judge.
oh, Johnny's got this.
Oh, Judge, can we go back just a second on the first reading? Because we also have to have an approval and vote. I'm sorry, I'm about half.
To advertise the,
No, for standing orders. Standing orders are the
Roll call.
regular recurring expenses, payroll, et cetera. And it requires a special vote, or a separate vote, I'm sorry.
Thought we always get that at the second reading, we don't.
No, they asked for it this time.
now, is there a specific list of what's on those?
It's on your budget.
Okay, so it's just payroll and,
Payroll, utilities, debt service, capital projects as drawdowns, and postage.
Motion.
we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We also need
That's it.
advertised too, right?
No, because we won't do any advertising until, this has to go to DLG for approval before we do anything else. Alicia, who did you have as first and second on that motion for standing orders?
Strunk and Wilden.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kane, if you'd like to talk about our fuel tank reader.
In front of you guys, you have a quote from Ross Petroleum Services. Just to kind of let you know what that is. That is for an automated system that tests the gasoline that we're putting in our fleet. Currently, you're looking at the testing service. I stick the tanks every day and I take down the readings, which is not a big deal. It just makes me a little bit nervous as far as making sure that the water levels are correct. And I wouldn't mind a little bit of help from an automated system that does it every day as opposed to me doing it once a month. I've talked to about 3 different companies. I've just gotten a quote from one, but according to the people that I've talked to, automated testing is coming as far as it's going to be something that the state mandates eventually. It's currently not mandated. What we're doing is adequate. It just adds a little bit of stress to me as far as.
How can you tell how much water it's got in it by sticking a stick down in it?
Well, you've got a paste that goes on the end of the stick, and there's once it hits water, it immediately turns a different color.
Okay.
But if you don't read it quick enough, it's so active, it reacts with the water in the air. So I'm not proficient at that yet. I've had somebody come
You're a
help me.
baby, right?
Yeah, I'm-
Maybe right, maybe wrong.
It's something that makes me nervous. The reading the levels every day doesn't bother me. It's the thing that they're testing for leaks and they're testing for water, and that's something that I'm not extremely comfortable with. Ross would come in and they would actually gauge the exact diameter of our tanks, which that's another issue. We're told from the state what diameter tanks that we have, but they don't always mesh with the readings that I take daily. I'm not sure that the state knows exactly what we have in the ground, but they will gauge each one of them and make sure that we've got the right size on the tanks. And I asked Jet Testing Services, who's going to submit our paperwork every month, to tell me how many of the people that they test for have automated systems versus manual, and he said it's about 95% of the industry right now is automated and 5% is still doing it the way we're doing it. So I went to the trouble of getting Ross to give us a quote for y'all's consideration.
We're just trying to get rid of the human error element.
There'll still be, the state will have to come in and read the computer readings, and we'll have to read it to make sure we know when to order, but that's about the extent of it. Questions that I can answer, or?
Did you talk to any other companies?
I have not. Ross is the only one that I got the quote from. I can find other companies to get quotes from for sure.
I would like to,
Okay,
like to see that done before we just automatically, you know.
I'll take care of that this week.
$13,000, you know, but is that a problem, John?
No,
I mean,
not at all. I'll be glad to.
So we'll, maybe by next court meeting, we'll have
I'll
another
have another
quote.
quote or two.
Do we have to advertise this or just?
We don't have to advertise.
Get
it's
qu-
under
not to get
20
quotes.
Huh?
To get quotes, no, and it's under 20.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry to make you do that. But, you
No,
know,
no, that's
if we
good.
can save $1 or $2, we need to
Sure.
save $1.
All right, thank you. All right, then we
I
have,
think it's a good idea to do that, Johnny. I mean, I think we need to do it.
that brings us to our department reports then. Sheriff, you're with us today. You have anything to report? All right, and our jailer, you've already talked. Do you have anything else for us today?
We're 381 today.
181. All right, is that all you have then?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Linda, do you have anything? And then Clyde, I've got a habit of marking through them before I call on them. Coroner, do you have anything for us today?
You're always just jumping over me, but that's okay. We're not important anyway.
You are very important.
Make the last calls.
Yeah. Public safety, Stacy?
A couple of things real quick. I just want to let everybody know, we hosted a fire school at the training center up there this weekend. We had well over 100 students. We had a lot of different classes. Everything went good except for Saturday with the rain, but we had a good time Saturday and Sunday with the classes. And second thing I got is where we're doing a repeater system out east. We're to the license agreement with the Vertical Tire Company, and they sent the license agreement, which I turned it over to Martin because it was looked like some legal stuff that Martin needed to look at instead of me. So
Yeah, we found a few things in there that, for instance, an indemnity clause where they wanted the county to indemnify them for certain things. We got that taken out. There was a venue thing. If there was ever litigation, they had it down in Florida. We got that taken out and another thing or two. Otherwise, from a legal standpoint, it's fine. And it's ready for the court to approve and the judge to sign.
and that will, once we do this, that will enable us to be able to get the radio shop's already got all of our equipment in, everything's here. Once we get that sent back to the Vertical Bridge Company, that'll enable us to get people to climb the tower and put our antennas up and move on with this and finish it out.
This was actually what was bid out.
Yes, that was the
About
bid.
a month ago, I
Yeah, the
think
east thing, it was the
y'all reviewed the bid.
$30-some-thousand project that we done, the repeater system for the east end.
And it was gonna help our sheriff and everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It had several of the city police, the sheriff, county fire, shop board, Peter was on there. Yeah, it was several different ones.
Motion to accept the contract.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank
Motion carries. Road Department.
I did.
The only thing I have today, Judge, is approval of our road work.
Y'all got a copy of the road work request. We got a couple speed limit on there, I believe. We need to.
I got a speed limit.
Give me those two.
I can make a motion, we approve John Gover Road at 25 miles an hour.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Aye.
All in favor? We do them separate. Any opposed? I think I heard an aye.
Make a motion, make Old Bull Road 35 mile an hour.
Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then we've got the road work request.
No, I got one.
Oh, you got one as well?
Yep, motion 25 mile an hour on the Ed Dick Road.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, now we'll take the road request as a whole.
Motion.
Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Let's see here.
Just write down CJE underneath that.
All right. All right, 911 center, is Aaron with us today, or Becky's over there? Well, we've got solid waste, and we do have an issue to deal with, but do you have a report first?
Today I'm presenting the 109 board projected budget for 17-18 that was approved at our last meeting.
We just need a vote to approve, to accept that.
Motion to accept it.
Second.
A motion and a second to accept the 109 board projected budget. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then we talk about the
Yeah,
issues
if
we've
you-
got.
you
We've
want
got Danny has come to me, and he's got a part-time employee that has been habitually absent without cause and without no-show, or basically no-show, no-call. He has verbally warned this person and written this person up, and as of yesterday, I went ahead and suspended this employee pending what the fiscal court would do. Danny's recommendation is that we just terminate this part-time employee. Danielle Singleton.
And my assumption is she's just quit because she didn't call Thursday or Friday, and today she was supposed to work as well. She didn't show up today, so this my assumption.
Do we need to vote to do that? Part-time or
Suspender we do, right, or
Fired.
fire.
Yeah. But if she has just quit, then
She hasn't notified us that she's
Yeah,
quit, but
she
she just hadn't had any communication. She's just not been coming.
okay, yeah, I guess either way. I mean, we would contest a claim if she filed a claim for unemployment, right?
We would.
Based on her record, okay.
Yes.
So, a motion and, yeah.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second, dismiss Danielle Singleton. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
One last thing, most of you may know or may not know, but this is the 10th year that the recycling center has been open. On May 26th, we're going to have an open house and invite everyone to come out. We're going to have hot dogs, and Walmart's going to sponsor it, and hopefully we'll have a big announcement to make that day regarding the future of the center. So just want to invite everybody out from 11 to 2 that day to have hot dogs with us.
26th. Next then would be, animal control. Adam, do you have anything? And finally, we have our treasury report. You've got a couple things, right, Joan?
I have a few things. You should have received your bill list for approval.
Motion.
Have a motion to accept the bill list. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Second item I have for you is the April bank reconciliation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed?
The third item would be fund transfers. Most of these are quarterly. One is just,
The occupational tax going.
yes, these are occupational tax with the exception of LGEA.
Motion. Approved.
We have a motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Strunk. Is that? Yeah. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
And the last item I have is, it's more of a formality. The court had already voted to approve this, but we've received the invoice, so I wanted to bring the invoice to your attention. It's the invoice from the city for the $375,000 from the Fire Commission for the purchase of the truck or apparatus, or however we worded it. But we received the invoice from them, and I wanted to run that also through the court, just so there's no questions at all when we get audited.
It's already been,
I just wanted to run the invoice.
money's already there.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir,
Motion
of course.
for the bill.
Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Gentlemen, thank you for all your help with the budget workshop. I think it was very, very productive. I appreciate it. I'm breathing a lot easier now. That's all I want to say is thank you, and I appreciate everything each of you do. And that's it for me today.
I thought the budget workshop was really good.
I thought it was
liked
very,
us
yes.
all sitting down and looking at it at the same time.
At the same time, it helped. Janie, thank you for being here. We appreciated that, but it was very good. It was nice.
Well, that brings us to citizens' comments. We don't have any on schedule today. But we do have, like I said, our special group, our Somerset Student Council, and we're going to invite you to stay with us for a few minutes if you all want to talk and hear from your magistrates if you've got questions. I'm sure you've seen a few things today that you didn't know went on in fiscal court, so hang around and we'll talk to you if you'd like to do that. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.